Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for February the 3rd through the 9th, 2025. So, I'd like to begin by first thanking all of you who are returning to this weekly series, and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you are subscribed. Select the all notification bell, and of course, like and dislike, and leave your comments. If you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. You will find a link, and all the other links I will mention in the description area beneath this video. Just be aware that I'm primarily having my readings on Saturday after 1 or 2 o'clock. If there are any weekday readings, it will most likely have to be starting at 4, but it's just I'm not quite sure of my availability during the week, but you know, can see. But I think you're safer Friday evening or Saturday. If you'd like to donate and support my channel, you can select my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. And by the time this reading is posted, you should have seen already the monthly Ascension Angel Messages for February 2025. So check out that link in the description area beneath this video as well, if you haven't come across it already. Okay, so let's take a deep breath and sort of just tune in to the frequencies and energies of this week. And I'm seeing my symbol for vulnerability when I see a naked behind, so someone's standing in front of me and not facing me. The back is to me. And earlier I saw sort of someone, which represents worry to me. You know, you have your sort of your hands in your mouth, right? And you're sort of bracing yourself or worried about something. So I saw that immediately as I started talking to you. So it's given us a sense this week, and I see a team of light surrounding us. And this could be made up of your angels, your guides, your ancestors. And just know that no matter what might be worrying you, or that I feel like you are sort of really, we need a reminder. They're trying to give us a reminder not to buy into everything that's happening right now. And that is not to say to ignore it, but do not buy into that in the way that you start giving your power to fear, that you don't feed the fear that they're trying to create. And to remember that this is a lesson for us in love. And, you know, it's hard to be in that power of love. And that's why fear is being projected in such a strong way right now. Because if they can just move us out of that place of love and that power, then the illusion of fear can gain power. Fear never has any power, and it never really will. But it needs the attention, right? So where your attention goes, energy flows. And so you need to be really, you need to remind yourself, you need to renew your sense of purpose and hope in the power of love, and to not um, negate your visions. And I don't mean like psychic vision, but I'm talking about the ability to imagine, to envision solutions, to act creatively, um, to solve the problems that are in the world. But a problem that is appearing before you is a symptom. It's not the reality, it's just the surface. And so instead of looking at a problem as something to be afraid of, they're rather encouraging you to see that problem as a challenge. And a challenge that love can always champion. Love is not afraid of any problem. Love is almost, think of it this way. Sometimes, you know, as light workers, when someone presents you with a problem, and it's easier to see it this way, the example I think they're trying to get across energetically. Like, I feel it, but it's hard to put it in words. But this comes to mind. You know, it's easier for us to solve other people's problems. It's when someone presents a problem to us and they've come with their heart wide open. If you have a client or you're a healer and, you know, or light worker, and you're ready, your soul is always eager, and your soul always feels honored, right? Even though you might be afraid of how you're going to help. And it's not that you know you can't help, but it's that sometimes we doubt in our abilities as healers, right? But once the session starts, and you just show up, and many of you have gotten used to this. At first you went through the whole, I can't do this. You go back and forth, and then you just started showing up no matter how displaced your fears, no matter how displaced you felt because of your fears, you just showed up. And then eventually as the session starts, your truth, your higher self just blazes through what all the worries that you had with incredible ability and integrity and enormous love. And so, in the same way, they're asking you to trust that no matter what problems you see or you're facing, that in the same way, if you step aside and let your higher self, let that healer step forward, it will come up with creative solutions. It will be able to envision a more peaceful picture or resolution, or it will be able to, in meditation, hold the frequency that will that really is the peace that passes all understanding. Sometimes we just need to hold the frequency and let the frequency do the work. It was so interesting. In the last couple of weeks, I was having some serious problems that I was facing in my work. And I was following along sort of this Jasmine Bolan's moonology calendar and her workbook. And the calendar, very interestingly, would, I pulled the calendars. I took it because like a flip. So every day I pulled a page, and then I pulled cards for myself as I was guided to. But I noticed, interestingly, that the astrological events that were occurring during the week of the 20th through 25th, but also the weeks before that, was really spot on astrologically. And her take on that, incorporating the moon and any other, um, the lunar events and the solar events that were unfolding. And there was this encouragement, and then I noticed the parallels in the readings that I've been presenting to you, which are now, because I started working, or I do them a week ahead, right? So right now, this is June 20, I'm sorry, January 25th, and this reading is for February 2nd, 3rd through the 9th. So I was noticing before I had gotten there the correlations between the readings, and and there was a sense of just recognizing that some things I couldn't do anything about, and I just needed to hold the frequency. And when I did, by the end of the week on the 24th, all of a sudden, just as this lift of energy, just as the calendar had mentioned, and it was almost like I have to tell you, it's the most bizarre thing, because it was like somebody switched off of a switch, and everybody was just like back to normal, as if nothing had ever happened. But something was holding the minds of people who I have this one class that's deeply, I can tell, like they're sort of almost like they're lunar, right? Like they're moody and they can just shift without any warning. And so, and that's what happened. And so it really was something going on with them that I was really not meant to take personally. I don't have the answers to what it's about, but I mean, I know could have what could have triggered it, but there's a surface problem. It's not what's going on underneath. And so this is why it's going to be really important for us to stand in our power and to hold the light, hold the higher frequencies, and trust that love and the higher frequencies are working on our behalf. And that's going to be really crucial right now, as fear is being projected very strongly to throw you off your ascension path, to cause you to lose your connection and ground to the wisdom of Mother Earth, to distract your attention away from the goal of ascension and the flames of ascension, light, and the higher frequencies that are pouring in, and to divert it towards that lower base, primal instincts of fear and rage, so that you surrender your power. And this is a decision that we are all going to have to make daily, hourly, minute by minute. And you want to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. And if it's really worth it, and in that, contemplating, is it worth it? You're answering a bigger question, and you're noticing an important um, solution, for lack of a better word. But how is your value waning and waxing with which power you're giving your attention to? One is real and the other is not. The other one needs everyone's attention. It needs your light to give power to something that is empty. And so when you pour your power into it, it creates, but it just creates emptiness. Fear is non sustainable. Only love is eternal, sustainable power that doesn't need to feed off of anyone or anything to be what it is. And that's why it has no expiration date. And if you give power to a world like this, which is based on love and oneness, you would not experience expiration dates in your life or the things that matter to you. However, the concept of expiring or living would not matter to you, as only what needs to be, only what is serving you, is what you would focus upon. And you would not need to notice or be aware of the loss of things that need to be released, to slip away, etc. So the challenges that we're facing right now are not weakening us. They are not our end, nor are they our beginning. But they are our salvation, because they're causing us to realize our worth, and they write star seed. That's interesting word to drop in the middle of that sentence. They're activating the star seed within you, bringing forth and bringing back the higher aspects of our being that has been through many journeys throughout the universe. The mastery of light and ascension, bringing back total wisdom to help us to raise the consciousness of our planet and humanity. Do not believe for one moment that we're in a battle that we're losing. And don't see yourself in a battle, but see yourself. Know that you're not standing still. You're not meant to stand still. But you're meant to stand still until you are activated, until you feel the activation of your purpose of light work to be fulfilled. Knowing that others are being activated and sent out at the appropriate time. It's all measured. All bases will be covered, and all bases are measured. That cover is measured throughout the time spans of the battle that fear is raging in order to save parts of itself. It believes that it is real. It believes that it deserves power, or that it should, and that it should demand it and take it, do whatever it takes to survive. And this part of yourself you are releasing because it keeps sort of ricocheting, or it's not the word I was feeling, but it keeps causing us to just going back and forth, right? And unable to steady the self. And so focus is really important right now. As I've been telling my students about this, developing awareness happens through focus. And your awareness is really full of many seeds of wisdom, knowledge, and truth, and clarity. And of course, peace and freedom. And right now, by deliberately choosing where you want to focus and where you want energy to flow, will give you power, because through your awareness, your awareness enlightens your focus, as in goals and purpose in every situation, so that no challenge has power over you, but you recognize that the choices that are available to you are an opportunity. All right, let's take a look at the first card, or the Archangel message for this week, and the Archangel that we're working with. And this is Archangel Butaylil. And Archangel Butaylil is Butaylil. As you can see, he sort of is, you want to think of as a universal archangel, and that he sort of holds the planets, right, um, in their positions. All things in our universe, he's kind of in charge of that. And so it gives us a sense of reminding you that you too hold the whole world, the whole universe within your hands. You hold within the chalice of your soul the power of the universe. And I is writing that word star seed again. And it's almost like the star seed it reminds us that we're universal energy, that we're not just one thing, we're not just earth, but we are the seeds of our soul is made up of all the parts, the seeds of light, of the seeds of wisdom and codes and keys of all this, the planets and um, cosmic energies and bodies of the universe. And that you have this opportunity now to really tap into that greater influence and wield it. But now the card says be interdependent. So, what I'm feeling or sensing is that as you do this as light workers, do not forget that everyone is essential to this influence. And if I can say it in a way that I feel it, it's almost like I hear the words, but I'm left with the feeling. It's like you get a glimpse into the words, and then I'm left with the feeling. Um, and it's a sense that everybody playing all the different roles, from bad to good, cop, right? um, Characters or whatever you want to call it, all of them, we need, it's like you have to remember that the resolution of the universe is oneness, meaning to bring all the star seeds back into the fold of unity, harmony, peace, and freedom and unconditional love, of course. And so the solution, the higher solution, will never exclude anyone. And so you really have to figure out, we have to figure out how to stand in the power of love, because the power of love does not exclude, it does not see someone or something lacking in value or worth. And this is what's the challenge for us right now, because this is what it causes us to get overwhelmed by fear and to play into it. Fear's playbook is division. And somehow, you and I have to find a way to encompass all with equal love. And this is the alignment and power of the universe that holds all the celestial bodies together. And they write the word senses. And so, really, don't be afraid to embrace your senses. So, for that vulnerability picture that I saw in the beginning, so there's some difference between being vulnerable and afraid or worried. And oftentimes we blur the lines and we let it all get mixed up, and it creates a new pool of, like anxiety. But we have to feel what we feel through our senses. We have to acknowledge them. We have to not deny them or resist them. We have to accept them as the blessings that we need, the blessings of understanding and comprehension that we need in order to know the truth as clearly as possible, as clear as possible as you need it to be in the moment of who you are being and evolving into. You have what you need, no more, no less, in order to fulfill who you are meant to be in this moment. And so, I'm not an expert on Dharma or Karma, but it almost feels like when we learn to embrace this idea that you're where you're supposed to be, and that's your dharma, no matter if it's crazy karma or not, but it's your dharma to be focused and as aware as possible, and to be intentional, to be guided intentionally through your awareness, to not want to try to break free, as in to struggle against where you keep ending up, because there's something there extraordinary and rewarding that you need to move through. And at the same time, if you don't, then all you keep doing then is causing yourself to cycle and to kind of keep creating karma that brings back lessons for us um, to help us to sort of work through that and to get that what we need. Okay, so let's take a look. Oops, man, we make these cards. It's interesting. This is my thing every week. I hate when they when they get kind of messed up. And so this maybe there are things that can drive us crazy, and and should we, you know, should we allow them to make us crazy? All right, so let's take a look at the card. These cards were laid down from right to left this time, so we're focusing inwardly. And this is the Seven of Powers. So this is the Seven of Wands. I think I had this card one day this week. And what's interesting about this is that you see these women, and it's another campfire, and they're raising the frequency, right? The clouds that are above them are looming and dark, and there's a break. And whether or not their ritual is focused in this cosmic dance, that's very, they're like intensely sort of raising um, up within them their own forces to um, to sort of cast aside the darkness is sort of enclosing upon them. And so we get a sense that in this card you usually see someone alone defending himself against everyone, but we see in this card evoking this idea of community, that we need to band together in light, a very Lemurian type, because Lemurians were community. They did everything together. It wasn't like the one. It's sort of like the collective, right? So Lemurian energy healing is collective power for healing. And so, where can we focus in a way when we see whatever we're being met with, the challenges that we're being met with? We need to do it. We need to create ritual, community, foster unity, harmony. These are the to counteract, right? So how can you think about working and drawing community together? It could be just as simple as renewing certain things that you used to do. When you get such focus on fear and people making you think the world is coming to an end, or whatever they're saying, you start to isolate yourself. You start to become apprehensive, suspicious. And so, did you stop doing something as simple as a family gathering or a group of friends every week? You have um, you have food, you potluck, and you just come together and you just laugh and you talk about the world and its problems, but through that wisdom that you all share. And because it's so refreshing and healing, you feel like you've all had your own church, right? So think about this in this week, this interdependence that Archangel Butaylil is talking about. All right, we have here the nine of espada. So this, I think, is the swords, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a quick look. Yes, it is. So very different. We see a monk here, almost reminding us of a Saint Francis, and not the normal card we see of someone alone by themselves, and it matches if you notice the nines, because the hermit, right? You see in each suit of the nine card, the person is by themselves, and it's almost like in a nine of cups. You found your own inner joy, right? Or you isolate yourself in fear. And the nine of swords, um, the nine of pentacles, you've created your own, um, you're comfortable in your own sense of worth. All right, and this affects outcomes around you. But here to see this flowing stream and this bird who seems to be, and it's very green and verdant, this scene, right? And the bird sitting up in the tree singing, bringing messages while he's contemplating and having you know probably a daily office or something, um, that he is practicing. So he's practicing his faith in some way. So what does this give us a sense of what we need to do is that we need to really, instead of worrying, devotional prayer, or meditation, whatever that is for you, to really attune us to those higher messages so that we don't play into the traps of fear. I'm seeing the word escape, and I, I feel like this is an old keyword that I used to know with this card, but if it's not, there's this sense of not dealing with this a problem and trying to escape it, right? Through you know I don't want to say daydreams, because that's not a negative thing, but sometimes we do tend to kind of like, um, do things that just help us to escape the problem and not face it. And then it's going to be weighted, and it grows, gets bigger because we need to deal with it. And you feel the anxiety. You just can't get away from it. So this has given us a sense of really deal with things in ways that are practical and grounding for us. The messages are there. The angels are, you know, trying to work with us. So really connect. Now, just looking back at this card, it's almost like he's looking at, and maybe if you've been isolating yourself, maybe this is causing you not to have the real clarity that you need. And maybe the message is to start connecting with your community, your soul community. All right, and here we have the Eight of Kunchas. So this is the Pentacles. So let me just check. Yep, Pentacles, and it makes sense because he's, you know, um, doing something here. I don't know what that is. The machine, and but it looks like a liquid or some kind of water there. But it can't be hot because he's putting his hands there. But you know, this gives us a sense to also, um, to focus on work that is meaningful to you, and to not give up on your goals, right? Just because, don't lose sight of your goals. What is going on out there? but what really matters to you on a personal level? What is the work that matters to you? What is the work that gives you peace and a foundation, and a foundation in yourself, and in um, the things that give you hope, and that what you do that gives hope to others. All right. So, you're just looking at this and you got all these we got three cards from three different suits here. So we have fire, mind. So you got, well, fire, air, and earth. I'm getting the elements and the suits mixed up, and material, right? And of course, earth, air, and fire here. So, just looking at this, it would almost give us a sense that in this week, we really need to focus on serving the community with our gifts, and you might want to put the knowledge and the wisdom, you know, back into the community. If you've just been doing a lot of work for yourself, now don't discontinue that. Keep that practice, but extend it to others. All right, and the last card I pulled from the bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords. And it's that reminder, too, of remembering to take time for the pauses. Remember that not everything we're meant to fix, that some things just have to happen in order for things to evolve, because these things are allowing others who have not fully awakened or fully made that decision to be on their ascension path. It's giving them the opportunity, some of the challenges, the things that happen, to make that decision for themselves, to become enlightened, to find clarity, to refocus, and to not give away their power. So do what you can do, but it seems like overall it's really important for you to hold the frequency, to do this with community, and to start becoming aware of the things that give you joy and how that joy can be given back. And just know that at the right moment that will unfold. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless you.